Hey guys, welcome to another episode. Today I'm going to show you guys how to bleed your brake system. So I've already gone ahead and inspected my brakes and made sure that everything's nice and lubricated. It's all great. However, now I've got to bleed my system. I've got a little bit of air inside the system and you can feel it when you push the brake pedal. It's a little spongy. Today I'm going to fix that. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be basically getting that air out of the system and replacing it with brake fluid. Now I'm going to be working with DOT4 Stop Tech brake fluid only because this is the stuff that I put inside my system, so my boiling temperature will be a little bit higher and my brakes would be better for longer when I'm driving the car. Now if I'm pushing the car, the brakes do get very hot and in turn the brake fluid gets hot. If it gets excessively hot and starts to boil, the brakes don't get that great. You lose braking force and your braking distance actually over time will increase. With brake fluid like this, it'll decrease and bring it back down. So today we're going to be putting this stuff in my car. So I've already gone ahead and jacked the car up in the air, made sure the car was level, so all the stands are on the same point, they're on the first step, and the wheels are off, as you can see. I've popped the hood so we've got access to the brake master cylinder, and then we're going to have to go ahead and start bleeding the system. So the way we bleed the system is we're going to be going the farthest brake away from the master cylinder as possible. So because the brake master cylinder is right here, so basically the front left corner of the car, we're going to start off by doing the back corner, the back side here on the driver's side then we're going to do passenger front, and then driver's side front. That way all the air will be flushed out and we've got fresh fluid in our system. So if you're looking at your engine bay, you've got to find your master cylinder, and the easiest way that I find you're able to find it is look in the car and you should find like a big circle donut kind of thing. I want to see if my camera will zoom in, but right there in the back, I'll put up another picture right here of what another one looks like. That's a master cylinder. You're going to have your brake fluid, so this stuff, this little reservoir right here, this is attached to your brake booster. And that's like that donut kind of thing that I'm talking about, the big circle. That's your brake system. So take the cap off, grab your brake fluid, and don't overfill it, but get it so it's up to the max line. There's probably going to be a filter in there just so only fluid goes through the system. And once it's at the max, put the cap back on your bottle, set it aside, and then close this up. And then put the lid back on, just like that. Alright, so we're on the back passenger side corner of the car, and this is our brake mechanism. Now to bleed the brake, you've got to remove the little dust cap right here that's on this nipple for the bleeder screw. So take that off, right here, set that aside. And then we're going to have to open this up and let the air and fluid out. So, for my car, I need a 10 mil ratchet. So I've got a 10 mil wrench right here, and it's lefty-loosey, righty-tighty, just like everything else. So I'm going to loosen this up, and when I loosen this, you're going to want to get someone in the driver's seat to press the brake pedal only when it's open. Now you want them to push the brake down when you open it. As soon as their foot's all the way down, you want to tighten it back up. So tighten it up after that. Once it's tight, you're going to tell the person inside the driver's seat to let up. You're going to then open up the lever again, this little nipple right here. You're going to open this up and then they can push down again. You're going to repeat this process until only fluid comes out and there's no air in the system. Okay? So, let's get started. So I'm going to open this up and the person in the driver's seat is going to press the brake pedal. And go. Push. Let go. And again. Let go. And again. Let go. Again. Now you can see how there's a nice steady stream coming out. That's good, that's what you want. Now if you can, try and keep this area as clean as possible and it'll actually eat away at paint. So if you get any stuff on paint or anything, give it a nice clean up, wipe it up, and then afterwards wash it down with water. Because look, see how you can see that the red paint is coming up? So clean it up and then spray it down with a little bit of water. But as it goes, this corner is good. Now after every corner you go through, you want to make sure that there's still fluid left inside the reservoir. So after every time you finish up a corner, go back and top it up and make sure it's at the max. Okay. Down. Okay. Up. One more. Go. Okay. So go ahead and spray this down with water just so the brake fluid doesn't eat any more of the paint. You can be liberal with this stuff, it's not a big deal. I mean, it's water. And just like that. Afterwards, go ahead, grab your towel, dry this area up, and then don't forget to put that little dust cap back on the bleeder screw right here. So put it on top of the nipple like that, make sure it's on there, and then this corner is done. So after the first corner, you can open this up again and replace any fluid that we drained out. Now, obviously, it's going to go down because we took some fluid out. Now, whatever you do, do not use reused fluid. If it goes out of the car, do not reuse it because it could be dirty. You could have dirt in it. You could have any stuff inside there. And if you get any of that inside the lines on the inside, you have the chance of ruining all the seals. You've also got a chance of damaging the steel lines. So from the inside, you could damage them and corrode them from the inside out. So before you go ahead and start off on the opposite side, you want to make sure that your brake master cylinder, all that is topped off and it's at the max level, because you don't want to reintroduce air back into the system. So take off the rubber cap for the nipple and go ahead and do the same thing. So once I open this up, the person in the driver's seat should press the brake so fluid will come out, and just repeat the process until there's no air and it's clean fluid coming out. Okay, brake, let go, brake, let go, brake, let go, brake, let go, brake. Now, as you guys can tell, there's nice clean fluid coming through, and it shouldn't be dirty, it shouldn't be brown. It should all be one consistent color, just like the brand new stuff. If it's dirty, keep going and keep pushing all of that dirty fluid out until clean stuff comes out of the nipple. Clean up your tool, make sure you're wearing gloves, and then spray all this down. After you paint your calipers and make them look nice, the last thing you'd want is the brake fluid to go in there and corrode everything. So go in there, clean everything up. Dry it off. And then put that little dust cap, the cover, back onto the nipple for the bleeder. And just like that, the back brakes are done. Now the front brakes are basically the exact same thing as the back. You're going to want to take off the little bleeder screw right here. So the little nipple in the front. Take it off. And repeat the procedure. Now if you've got a front brake that's a fixed caliper, so you're going to have pistons on both sides that are going to be pushing in on the brake pads. You're going to have to bleed both sides. You're going to notice that there's a bleeder screw in the back and also a bleeder screw in the front. You're going to have to bleed them up from both sides so there's no air in the actual caliper either. I've only got the piston on the back side, so I've only got to worry about this one right here. But just take note, and if there's another bleeder screw, don't forget to bleed that one. So again, just like the backs, we're going to open this up, so we're going to take out all the dirty fluid inside of there, along with any air pockets that are in there. So, open this up, and the person in the driver's seat should press the brake pedal. And go. Up. Brake. Up. Brake. Up. Brake. Up. Brake. Up. Brake. Up. Brake. Now when you do the fronts, you want to make sure that there's no air left inside the system. Because the reason is, the fronts do 70% of the braking, so you really want to make sure that these front brakes are doing their job. If you don't have these working, your braking distance is going to be elongated by a long shot. The stopping distance is going to be ridiculously longer compared to if you had these things were working. So, clean this up, grab your water, and spray all this down. Drown the brake caliper in water so there's no more brake fluid left on there. Dry it off with a towel. And then grab your rubber cap and put it on the bleeder screw. Now go ahead, open up this again, and make sure that it's up to the max line again. You don't want to run and introduce more air into the system because it'd be basically counterproductive. We're taking all the air out. We don't want more going in. And finally do the same thing for the last brake. Right now we're working on the front driver side. And this is the shortest distance between the master cylinder and the brake booster to here, to our brake system. So take off the dust boot again, get your 10 mil, and loosen this up. Brake, let go, brake, let go, brake, let go, brake, let go, and brake. Now just like before, don't forget to cover it in water and make sure there's no brake fluid left on the caliper, and then dry it off. Don't forget to put on your dust boot, and then we're done bleeding the brakes down here. Now one last time, open this up, and make sure that it's up to the max point. You don't want to overflow the system because then you'll get brake fluid everywhere. So keep it there, close this up, and put the cover back on. So guys, at this point, all the brakes should be bled, all the fluid should be changed, there should be no air pockets in the system, and your brakes should be basically brand new again. Now make sure that when you're doing this stuff, you don't get any brake fluid on the paint. I can't stress enough on how important this is. If you leave the brake fluid on regular paint, the paint will get eaten away because the brake fluid will go on top and break it all down. Now before I put the wheels back on the car, I'm going to go over all the corners and make sure that I wash it again. I'm just going to spray some water, maybe a little bit of soap or degreaser, just so I know that this is all clean. A good option too right now with the wheels off the car, you can go ahead and take your wheels, spend a good 20 minutes, half hour, and clean them properly. You can also use rim cleaner on all your brakes and everything, and it'll do a very good job of cleaning everything up. Now just a tip, before you guys get in your car and drive away, before you even put it in gear, pump the brake a couple times just so you've got brake pressure and everything's going to work. So when you press the brake, the car is actually going to slow down. If you guys have any questions regarding the video, please post them down in the comments below and I'd be happy to help. If you guys like what you see and you want to see more, don't forget to click the subscribe button. And again, thanks for watching.